for players who somehow become more famous for not playing than actually playing. These guys barely hang on to the league, living off 10-day contracts and short stints that feel more like auditions than careers. They flash in summer league, get a few headlines, and then vanish once the regular season begins. When they check into games, it's either a blowout or an accident. Coaches don't call plays for them. They call timeouts to get them off the floor. Jared Jeffries is another one who managed to be around without anyone knowing why. Scrubs like him spend more time.
Yeah, I'm assuming if that's what you're doing and you're in the NBA, yeah.
Time on the bench than the actual bench does. They sit in full uniform, game after game, just waiting for that perfect scenario, a 30-point lead with 40 seconds left. When their number is called, it's never with excitement, just to avoid injuries to players that actually matter. Anthony Bennett had expectations the size of a mountain and still couldn't find a foothold. That's the Scrub story. Drafted high, dropped fast. These players don't bring any one elite skill to the table. They're not lights-out shooters, not lockdown defenders, not even great glue guys. They're just there, filling roster space, floating through practice, never really part of the plan. Sebastian Telfair came in with so much hype, but he ended up stuck in scrub territory like so many others. These guys usually bounce between the NBA and the G League, and when that doesn't work out, they pack up for an overseas tour. Mid-career detours to random international leagues are common. Anywhere that'll give them minutes, even if the scoreboard's in another language. Yi Janlian had all the physical tools and still couldn't stick. That's the thing with scrubs. Sometimes they look the part, but when the game starts, nothing happens. Coaches keep them around for practice, not production. They're useful bodies in scrimmages and scout team drills. The team's up 25 or down 30, that's when they check in. If fans remember them at all, it's for their college days, or the Where Are They Now trivia segments. Jimmer Fredette had a legendary college run, but in the league, he couldn't get past the end of the bench. Scrubs get their moment in the preseason, maybe even one decent game that fans hold on to for dear life. But once the regular season starts, they're glued to the sideline. Their stat lines usually look like they never touched the ball, and in many cases, they didn't. Hashim Thabeet had size, and teams still didn't know what to do with him. That's when you know someone's in scrub territory. These players don't get trusted with real minutes. They might dress, they might warm up, but when the game's on the line, they're behind the water bottles. Their careers usually last under.
I know my fan just chill, but bro, this is so funny. I feel bad for these. I don't feel bad, but like, I hope they're doing good. But damn, you feel me?
3 years, and that's if they're lucky. Adam Morrison looked like he'd be something special after college, but ended up fading out fast. Scrubs like him don't retire with celebrations. They quietly disappear. No press tour, no jersey retirement, not even a farewell tour. They just stop getting calls, stop getting deals, and end up as footnotes. If fans remember them at all, it's because they Googled draft busts one night out of boredom. Darko is still one of the most famous examples of a player who went high in the draft and still landed in this category. Scrubs often carry that extra pressure. Not only did they underperform, but they did it in front of everyone. The league moves on quickly. Teams waive them without hesitation. Fans forget them even faster. Coaches only remember them as that guy we had for a few weeks. Kwame Brown caught heat for years, but the truth is, his career just never found its stride. That's the scrub blueprint. Nothing sticks. They're locker room fillers, practice squad energy, and the 11th man in a rotation that only plays 8. They're not trusted in crunch time.
The 11th man in a rotation that only plays 8.
In retirement. That's what defines this level. Scrubs are here and gone in a flash. Their jerseys never sell, their names never trend, and their highlight reels are just recycled practice footage. They're the definition of temporary, barely in, easily out, and almost always forgotten. But let's move on. Level 2. Bench player. These guys aren't carrying a franchise, but they're not getting tossed out of the league either. They hang around because they're dependable, even if nobody's ever running to buy their jersey. You'll spot them getting 10 to 15 minutes a night, doing just enough to hold down the second unit without turning the ball over every other possession. Think about someone like Corey Joseph. He's not flashy, but you always know what you're getting. He won't close games. And nobody's banking to hit a game.
Okay.
But when the start,
I know. Anthony, your fans on in the background. Oh yeah, my bad.
Players need a break. He's the guy coaches trust not to throw everything off the rails.
He had that
reliability. That's why teams keep calling. They bring hustle, they bring energy, and most importantly, they bring silence. When it comes to complaining, these players don't go whining to the media about playing time. They know their role and they lean into it. Garrett Temple built his entire career on that attitude. He's been the veteran presence on more rosters than most people can count, and that's not by accident. Every once in a while, someone like Jody Meeks will come in and catch fire, suddenly dropping 20 points out of nowhere and then going quiet.
That's good though. See, that's not good. Like dropping 20 and then not for a long period of time is not good, bro.
For the next week. That's the thing with these guys. They're streaky. When they're hot, they look like starters.
Damn, why you use that nigga?
When they're cold, it's easy to forget they're even on the team. But that randomness, it still adds value. You'll all.
That's me with Luka. It's like, no, I'm rage band, y'all niggas chill.
So hear them called.
That's just rage band.
Locker room guys. They're glue players, the ones who keep things steady behind the scenes. Kendrick Perkins was a master at that. He wasn't lighting it up on the floor in his later years, but everyone respected what he brought to the team dynamic. Coaches value that more than fans realize. Players like Nick Collison spent nearly 2 decades doing this exact thing. He was never the best player on the court, but he always knew where to be, what to do, and how to keep the flow going.
That's real, bro. There's other ways to be utilized, bro. I'm telling you. If you're the only nigga that's really good at just doing one simple thing.
And if someone got...
Like, imagine if Steph Curry couldn't shoot. What do we think about when we see Steph Curry? Greatest shooter of all time. Exactly. Bro, what if he wasn't the greatest shooter? What if Steph Curry only averaged 15, but still played and still performed the same exact way in every other aspect with rebounds, assists, turns, overs. Hopefully that's not a thing. His ball handle good though. I seen Curry cross 3 niggas. Never mind. I can't even. Never mind.
Got hurt. He stepped up, kept it moving, and made sure nothing fell apart. That's what makes these bench guys vital. They're not the stars, but they keep the stars from collapsing. And it's not like they're just sitting there. They're still grinding. Luke Renauer was another perfect example. Bounced around the league, showed up ready every night, ran the offense for a few minutes, then sat back down. He never made wave, never tried to play outside himself, and that kept him in the league for years.
My bad, y'all. New and upcoming content creators want to make sure my face in the frame. All right, bro, we good. I know y'all hear that, fam. I'm sorry.
Reggie Bullock is the type of player who gets brought in for specific matchups. Need length on the wing? He's in. Need someone to space the floor for a few possessions? He'll hit a 3.
You see what I'm saying?
Grab a rebound and get back to the bench. Nothing wild, just checking boxes. That ability to plug in where needed keeps him employed season after season. And while the starters get the headlines, someone like Brian Cardinal was always working in the margins. His whole job was to come in, give energy, maybe take a charge, and keep the tempo up for a few possessions. He wasn't trying to take over, just trying to keep things stable until the real firepower came back in. Their contracts usually reflect that role too. Not huge money, but enough to stay on the roster without messing up the team's salary cap. That makes them valuable beyond the court. When teams look at depth, these are the guys they want. Players who won't complain, won't get injured too often, and won't drag down chemistry. And you know what? They're usually healthy. No long layoffs, no nagging injuries that derail their season. That's another reason they last. They take care of their bodies and stay available, which is their season. That's another reason they last.
What team is this? When did Klay Thompson get signed to the Nets? What the fuck?
They take care of their bodies and stay.
Hey, Klay, man, I miss him on the Warriors, man, but it's good. We got Al Horford now, bro. He gonna space the floor out. And like that guy in the YouTube video said, he can still shoot lights out from a 3. I just don't like his. This is the weirdest shit I ever seen anybody like shoot like, but it's okay. But yeah, man, shout out Al Horford, bro. Shout out Klay. I'm excited to see Seth and Steph Curry play with Steph's 1-year contract with the Warriors. That's gonna be fun. This is a good time for this to be my first ever NBA season I'm watching. Facts.
Available, which is more than you can say for a lot of higher profile players. When younger guys join the roster, these vets are often the first ones to help them adjust. That kind of mentorship doesn't show up in box scores, but it's part of the reason players like Delly stick around. He knew his role, played it.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, you gotta credit him still being able to like semi-contest this.
It's part of the reason players like Delly stick around.
This nigga on his knees. I don't know.
He knew his role.
Hey, man. This is a jump, too.
Played it hard and showed
I ain't trying to impress, but hey, bro, shout out, bro.
without making headlines. They're not winning playoff series, and nobody's expecting them to. But when you look at how many teams have a steady second unit, you'll find players like Tony Snell keeping the wheels from falling off. They don't get the glory, but they get the minutes that keep everything running. You won't find a single defining moment in their careers, but you will find years of showing up, staying ready, and doing the job. That's the life of a...
Just like us in real life, bro. Show up, do the job, ready, prepared. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, bro. At the end of the day, Jesus Christ is Lord. Ooh, let me show you this Revelation 20 I saw the other day. I think everybody needs to know this. So, Revelations is what you want to read. You should really get into the Word. I don't read the Word that often. I read 4 pages. I decided to just hit the book of Job, man. I'm gonna read the book of Job. Alright, but look. And then I saw an angel coming down from heaven, holding his key to the bottomless, what that say, pit. In a great chain, he seized the dragon, the ancient serpent, who is the devil and Satan, and bound him for 1,000 years, and threw him in a pit and shut it and sealed it over him, so that he might not deceive the nations any longer. Until the 1,000 years were ended, he must be released for a little while. Then I saw the thrones, and seated on them were those to whom the authority to judge was committed. Also I saw the souls of those who had been beheaded for the testimony of Jesus and for the word of God, the Bible. Those who had not worshipped the beast or his image, had not received this mark, on their foreheads or their hands. They came to life and reigned with Christ for 1,000 years. The rest of the dead did not come to life until the 1,000 years were ended. This is the first resurrection. Blessed and holy is the one who shares in the first resurrection. Over such the second death has no power, but they will be priest and God of Christ, and they will reign with him for 1,000 years. Now this is the defeat of Satan. And when the 1,000 years are ended, when it's over, Satan will be released from that prison, you know, when he got chained up and they sealed it over him so that he may not be released. He'll be released and will come out to deceive the nations that are at the four corners of the earth, Gog and Magog, to gather them for battle. Their numbers is like sand of the sea, and they marched up over the broad plain of the earth and surrounded the camp of the saints in the beloved city. But fire came down from heaven and consumed them, and the devil who had deceived them was thrown into the lake of fire and sulfur, where the beast and the false prophet were. They would be tormented day and night never. Amen. No matter what, Jesus Christ is Lord, man. No matter what, Jesus Christ is Lord. Yo, where was we at? Bro, where did my, I don't know, where my what's the name just went. Alright, bet. We go back to the video. So I want to show y'all.
Life of a bench player, serviceable, steady, and quietly essential to every team that wants to stay competitive across 82 games. By the way, if you guys want to subscribe, I'm going to be posting every day. Thanks. Anyways, level 3, starter. Harrison Barnes fits this level perfect. Anyways,
I know this guy.
Level 3.
I know this guy. Yo, I play in my career with this
Starter.
dude, bro.
Harrison Barnes fits this level perfectly. Dependable, professional, and always ready to contribute, even if he's never blowing up the box score. These players give you 30 or more minutes every night and consistently average somewhere between 12 and 18 points. They're the kind of guys you can plug into the starting lineup and not think twice. Coaches love them. They don't create drama, and they rarely mess up. They're just always there. Tobias Harris has carved out a career by being exactly that. Solid. Ohio. Not flashy, not dominant, just reliable. Starters like him can get you 20+ points once in a while, but it's not expected. When it happens, it's a bonus. These are the players who never get featured on highlight reels, unless someone's scraping together a most underrated montage. They fly under the radar, especially with casual fans, but within the league,
that nigga said YouTube gonna look crazy after I hit this dunk.
Everybody knows what they're doing. PJ Tucker brings defense, corner threes, and an attitude that doesn't show up on stat sheets. These players usually hang around with the
Yo, is this how deep basketball
and
get?
an attitude
This guy in the corner look traumatized, bro. Is he alright?
that doesn't show up on stats.
Man, basketball must get serious in competition.
These players usually hang around with the same team for several years, becoming part of the core five without being the face of the franchise.
My type of lab,
they might not be the first name mentioned in pregame intros, but they're definitely one of the first names.
Yo, that's Tyrese Halliburton.
Joe Smith was a classic version of this kind of player. Decent scorer, good rebounder, and always starting, but never starring. These guys rarely make all-star appearances, if ever. They're the players who fans have to argue about just to get them into the conversation. He's been solid. It's probably
that
Miles fans
Bridges
have to
jersey
argue
on.
about just
he got a Miles Bridges jersey on 22nd day, nigga.
To get them into the conversation. He's been solid. It's probably the highest praise they get on national broadcast. But even so, they're important. They play real playoff minutes and are trusted in crucial stretches. Derek Favors brought consistent inside presence and rebounding. That's another part of what defines this level. These guys do the dirty work. The in-between stuff, they're not making commercials or selling shoes, but they're the reason teams stay competitive. You can build around them, but you probably shouldn't. They're great complementary pieces. Reliable, steady, and just productive to keep their name in trade discussions. Steven Adams fits right.
Yeah, dude. Wait, this nigga was I'm trying to remember if I seen him play the other day. I'm trying to watch all the games on Peacock.
Right in here. He's tough, strong.
I couldn't even watch I couldn't even watch the Warriors versus the Rockets last night, bro. I was trying to click on it, but it just kept bringing me back to the home screen of Peacock, bro.
From a starting center. These players are usually in that mid-tier contract zone. Not max money, but not minimum either. They're paid fairly for what they do, and even though they're not franchise guys, their presence gives a team structure. You don't worry when they're on the court. That peace of mind is worth a lot. Brook Lopez, before his Milwaukee resurgence, was one of those big men who gave you buckets and boards, but didn't tilt the scales. That's the thing about players at this level. They often peak in the middle of their career. They're effective early, reliable in their prime, and then slowly start to fade. Their decline isn't dramatic. It's quiet, just like their rise. Trevor Ariza had the kind of career every team wants from the start. He defended, hit timely shots, and always seemed to be in the right place. These players win respect from coaches because they follow the plan. They don't freelance. They do what's asked.
No way.
They do it well enough to keep starting.
Oh my gosh, that happened
before? They might not fill arenas, but they fill roles, and that matters. Andre Miller ran point with no flash, but full control. That's the vibe for many of these guys. They're not looking to go viral.
All these guys hooped in 2003 could tell.
Get the job done. Their careers don't scream greatness, but they whisper consistency.
They get traded, it's not
because they're underperforming. It's because another team sees their values. They're often included in deals because they balance out the roster. No one builds around them, but everyone can use one. Eric Snow was one of those players who could start on a playoff team and do exactly what was needed. Defend, facilitate, and stay out of the way. That's another strength of this group, knowing their role. They don't try to do too much. They're not stat chasers or highlight hunters. They stick to their lane, and because of that, they extend their careers far longer than some players with more raw talent.
What's the caption?
These players rarely go out with the bang. There's no massive retirement tour or emotional farewell video.
Yo, Steven Adams is my new favorite player just because I have court shot. Shout out Steven Adams.
They leave the game the way they played it, quietly, professionally, and without any unnecessary
I know Duncan hurt. You can't tell me Duncan doesn't hurt.
Quietly,
look at his wrist.
And without any
Dude, that hurts. There's no way. Look at the momentum going into the dunk. Bro, right? You're
necessary attention. Their careers
this is why John about to stop dunking, bro. This is respectable.
When you look back, you won't see dominance, but you will see a body of work that teams appreciated and coaches trusted. That's the essence of a level 3 starter. Reliable, consistent, solid. Not a superstar, not a scrub, just someone who showed up, did the job, and did it well enough to earn it.
Yo, that emo is real.
Just someone who showed up, did the job.
That emo real, y'all.
And did it well enough to earn.
This is my first 2K too. This is my first NBA season. My first 2K.
Close enough attention. But let's move on. Level 4. Star.
Jaylen
Brown
fits this
level
Jaylen Brown.
Multiple all-star appearances, max contract status, and the go-to option on a playoff team. Players like him are the face of the franchise, regularly putting up over 20 points
What about Jason Tatum?
per night and drawing every bit of the defense's attention.
What about Jason Tatum?
They're the guy on the billboard, in the locker
star.
room leading film sessions, and out in the community shaking hands and signing jerseys. Coaches build
I'm
offensive
shaking their hands and I'm kissing the babies, brother. You hear me?
schemes around them, and opponents build game plans trying to stop them.
Shaking hands
Darius
and kissing the
Garland
babies,
is another
man.
player in this tier. Young, explosive, and already recognized as one of the league's top scoring threats. These players are constantly expected to
man,
deliver
look at
in the
that.
clutch.
Not
They don't
against
just
the
want
Pistons, bro. Kate Cunningham, for the sake of the, like, bro, get this carry, bro. If you gotta be the guy that make the tough shots, be the guy that make the tough shots, bro. I was watching the Pistons versus the Cavaliers, man. Literally, while I was playing my career at the same time, and I was signed to the Warriors, but I'm gonna get a ring with Curry, bro. Bro, I was hooping with Donovan Mitchell. I outscored and outperformed Donovan Mitchell with my build. I need K lock in, bro. That was my first Pistons game I saw in like 2 years.
them taking the last shot, you need it. They draw double teams,
Make it hoop.
magnets, and still find ways to score or create for others. When the playoffs hit, they carry the team's hopes on their shoulders. If the squad wins, they're praised. If it loses, they're the first name in every debate segment the next
man.
morning. Tyrese Maxey represents how fast a player can rise into this level. Stars have dominant stretches and statistically
that, bro.
strong prime years.
I'm trying to work
that
on my
leave an
fadeaway,
impression. They're not just
2K,
efficient
man.
scorers. They're
It's hard to
advanced
get the
metrics
fadeaway. It's
machines.
not easy.
Look at any
I'm only
lineup
6'9", but
combination,
my new
and
build
when they're on the
6'11".
floor, everything runs smoother. They're not
That's
just
a crazy
producing,
dunk.
they're shifting games. Brandon Ingram
That's wild.
has been
Is that
their first
Jokic?
option for years now.
Yo,
Teams
this a
know
hood
what he
nigga,
brings
bro.
and still struggle to slow him down. These players live at the
Damn.
top of the scouting report. They demand the ball, and when they don't have it, they're still controlling the flow of the game. Whether it's drawing
That's
defenders or collapsing the defense, they tilt the court
Cade
just by
Cunningham,
showing up.
right.
Zach LaVine brings that highlight level explosiveness mixed with consistent 20-plus scoring. Stars like him are no longer surprises. They're expected to perform. National games feature them prominently, and the league markets them as part of the next generation of stars. Their faces pop up in sneaker ads, commercials, and social campaigns. Their presence on a roster raises the team ceiling instantly. Chris Middleton is the kind of player who's often overlooked until the playoffs come around. Then suddenly, he's the one hitting the big shots
crazy
and making
contest
huge
post.
decisions late in the game. Stars are
Outside.
expected to not only score, but to lead. Emotionally, vocally, and through effort. They're the players who
Who's
shift
that?
momentum and keep teams alive
Damn.
in tough stretches.
I've never seen that
Bam
design before.
adds defense to the
Dwight
star
Howard,
label.
that guy
These
that's
players
not-
aren't
I'm
just
sorry.
scorers,
That might not be
they're
Dwight
two-way
Howard.
threats. They anchor both ends, whether it's protecting the rim or switching onto guards.
That's Cade.
Their
You see what I'm
versatility
saying?
adds value
Bro.
in every possession. When the other team brings the ball up, they're always looking over their shoulder for that
Kyrie
match.
got
Stars
hands,
like
bro.
Bam disrupt the rhythm just by existing. Scotty Barnes is already
That's
being
real.
treated like the future in his city. That's the mark of a star. Franchise
Scotty
level trust
Barnes.
before age even becomes a factor. Teams hand the reins over and expect results. Whether it's a rebuilding roster or a contender looking for an edge, these players are expected to be the center of everything. When things go right, they're praised like legends. When things go wrong, they take the heat. Tyler
Bro,
Hero
clicks
brings
every
that flashy,
time.
shot-making
how I
confidence
need to
every
get it.
star-level guard needs. These players
Excellent.
have to believe the
Excellent.
next shot is
Excellent,
going in,
bro.
because the
Literally,
whole
bro.
team
Now's
Literally,
the
bro.
time to dream
That was a
bigger.
great shot, bro. What store is this? Florida Decor? I never heard of it.
create offense. Their usage rate is sky high, and they've got to make tough decisions possession
LaMelo.
after possession. There's no hiding. The ball always finds them when it matters
shot,
most.
Melo.
LaMelo Ball adds flair and creativity to this level. Stars have to be entertaining too. It's part of the package. The league markets them. Fans buy their jerseys,
Yo,
and kids
I
mimic
ain't
their
seen
moves and
this nigga- this
driveways.
nigga
But it's
aged
not
for
just
real. He got a
style,
mustache.
there's substance. Stars don't
Yeah,
survive on
is Mikey Williams going? Yeah, we gotta look it up, but is he still hooping?
flash alone.
I remember
They've got
Mikey
to put up
Woods,
numbers,
man.
lead teams, and do it night after
Hear
night,
about this nigga
season
everywhere.
after season.
I ain't
Desmond
even
Bain
watch
is the kind of player
basketball.
who doesn't
Word,
look like
man.
a star
Like,
at first
bro.
glance, but the numbers and impact say otherwise. That's a key part of this level.
shot.
Respect from peers, coaches, and front
Like that,
offices.
man.
These players might not be legends yet, but they're unquestionably elite in the current landscape. They've got top 25
Good shot.
status locked in, and teams know what happens when they're on the
that?
schedule. Julius Randle has had dominant regular season runs. And though he's taken criticism, he's firmly in this tier. That's another part of being a star, the scrutiny. When things don't go perfectly,
And he got a
it's their
haircut,
fault.
but it
When they
don't
drop
look like
30
it.
in a win, it's expected. Making criticism,
Yeah, haircut, but
he's
don't
firmly,
look like
it's
it.
their fault. When they drop 30 in a win, it's expected. When they shoot poorly in a loss, it's a headline. They live under that spotlight, and they still produce. Stars leave a legacy with each franchise they touch.
That must
Whether
be
they stay
annoying.
for a decade or move after a few years, their presence is felt long after. Stat sheets, game tapes, and playoff memories carry their signature. They're not all-time greats, but they're close enough that every team wants one, and every defense dreads facing one. But now, the big dog. Level 5. Superstar. Jason Tatum lives in this tier now. Top 10 player in the league, All-NBA first-team regular, and the kind of talent that defines an entire franchise. When he's on the floor, everything changes. Defenses collapse, media coverage spikes, and fans around the world tune in.
Wait, no, never mind. That's Devin Booker. But I got signed to the Suns in my career. I got a ring, but
Even if they don't support his team. Superstars
Warriors
don't just
now,
lead,
but-
they control the narrative. If they lose in the playoffs, it's a national discussion. If they win, it's legacy talk. Jalen Brunson has officially broken through to this level. He doesn't just carry his team, he transforms it. These players create
I see
new
this guy hooked
expectations
the other day.
overnight. One moment, the team's trying to make the playoffs. The next, it's contending for a conference title. Superstars shift the balance of power just by existing. They alter the way teams build their rosters. General managers make every decision with them in mind. How to help them, how to keep them, how to
Tyrese Halliburton.
maximize their window. Tyrese Halliburton brings the full package. Elite efficiency, elite volume, and a game that looks effortless but is brutally effective. These guys put up 25 and 10 like it's nothing. They're walking double-doubles with the ability to turn those into triple-doubles anytime they feel like it. They don't just get coverage, they dominate it. Every game, every move, every quote becomes part of the larger story. Devin Booker owns playoff moments. That's a trademark of this level. Superstars deliver in high-pressure games and make it look routine. They lead deep playoff runs, take over fourth quarters, and force opponents to throw out the scouting report. Defensive schemes get rewritten to deal with them. Traps, doubles, full court pressure. None of it really works. These players always find a way. Donovan Mitchell has that explosive scoring ability that defines the top tier. Superstars don't wait for the game to come.
Let's see about this guy, Donovan Mitchell.
Whether it's a quick...
I think Donovan Mitchell dropped... Yeah, he definitely dropped 30, man. He definitely dropped like 35 against the Pistons. They put him at 2-2 for the season so far, man. Swag can't be denied. But I just need Cade Cunningham to get it together, man.
30-point night or a statement 40
Come on, bro.
piece, they can erupt whenever it's needed.
When I put my first parlay, when I put my first parlay on the Pistons, my first ever parlay, I mean, you had to be locked in.
Getting the ball, stopping it, different story. These guys pull up from anywhere and finish at the rim like gravity doesn't apply. Cade Cunningham is still young, but the label's already forming. This level demands generational talent, the kind you don't see every year. Teams draft them and immediately adjust their timeline. Suddenly, patience becomes planning. Everything revolves around their development and their ceiling. Once they hit, it's
I'm not gonna lie, I used to get him.
Franchise reset. Superstars are the plan.
Okay, Wemby, man. Oh my gosh, bro. 2 blocks, you know what I'm saying? Pull up from logo, green.
All wrapped into one. Wembanyama's already changing the way basketball is played. That's the kind of impact we're talking about. Superstars redefine what's possible. They bring...
Because of what Wemby did in the last few days and weeks, I don't get mad at the way 7-4s play in 2K. I can't. Because Wemby's doing this in real life. He's doing IRL, bro. He does it in real life. 2 blocks. This is a center. They gave the center a ball. And he pulled it from logo. Wow, bro.
Something that forces everyone, fans, coaches, analysts, to reevaluate the expectations. Size, skill, defense, shooting, it doesn't matter what position they play. They transcend it. These players are unicorns with the resumes to prove it. Anthony Edwards brings charisma and chaos. Superstars don't just play, they perform, they entertain, they fill arenas. Their jerseys sell across the globe. They dominate all.
I need to check on wrestling, bro. I don't watch wrestling for real. It's been kind of lame these last couple of months for me. Somebody calling me. Chat, where's my phone? Why would y'all know where my phone at? Here it go.
All-Star Weekend because they're built for the spotlight. They're also magnets for criticism. One missed shot, one playoff series loss, and suddenly everyone's asking, is he really that guy? But they take the heat and come back stronger. Kyrie's game is a masterpiece, impossible to replicate and impossible to ignore. These guys make the league more interesting just by being in it. Their style becomes part of basketball culture. Kids copy their move. Other players mold their game around them. When they hit free agency, it's not just a signing, it's a shift in the league's power structure. Teams get gutted, rosters flipped just to make room. Anthony Davis dominates both ends of the court. That's another defining trait. Superstars don't take plays off. They're expected to defend the paint, run the offense, hit big shots, and do it all without blinking. They show up in every advanced metric, lead in efficiency, and make everyone around them better. The team's identity becomes a reflection of...
That sounded weird. Not saying I like to do that, smell. I'm just used to it. It's like something, right? Fucking chicken, I don't know, something.
Who they are. These players live under the microscope. Every game, every possession, every comment is analyzed. They're compared constantly. Who's better?
6,
who's next? Who's fading? The weight they carry is heavier than stats can measure. And yet, they produce consistently. They set records, sign global endorsements, and stay at the center of the conversation. Their presence defines an era. You don't just remember the teams, they become known by the superstar that led them. These players don't need introductions, and they don't need hype. They bring both. Whether it's opening night or Game 7, everyone's watching. They don't just play basketball, they change it. But let's get historic. Level 6.
Come on.
Legend. Bill Russell didn't just win, he defined what winning looked like. Legends aren't just remembered, they're studied. Their names aren't part of the conversation, they are the conversation. These players get inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame, have their numbers retired, and become symbols of entire eras. Their careers are the foundation of the league's history, and their dominance stretches from the first minute they played to the last time they laced up. Kareem finished with career stats that still sit at the top of the record books. Legends don't just have a good run, they leave behind decades worth of numbers, trophies, and memories. They win multiple championships, collect MVPs, finals MVPs, and shape the identity of the franchise itself. When fans think of those teams, they think of that player first. That's legacy. Magic Johnson had the game, the showmanship, and the impact. Legends changed how the game was played. They introduced new styles, new mindsets, and forced the league to evolve around them. Whether it was passing, scoring, defending, or leading, they made the extraordinary feel ordinary. These players set the standard and then raised it every year. Larry Bird wasn't just great, he was unforgettable. Legends have rivalries that become folklore. Every matchup is part of basketball history. These battles were more than just wins and losses. They were chapters in a larger story that shaped the league for generations. Legends made every game feel like an event, every possession like a moment you had to see live. Wilt Chamberlain broke the game with stats that looked made up. That's another piece of this level. They weren't just good for their time. They were unbelievable for all time. You hear the numbers, you see the records, and you wonder how it was even possible. And yet, they did it over and over with consistency that looks superhuman in hindsight. Hakeem brought footwork and finesse that's still taught today. Legends inspire generations. Young players study them, copy their moves, and model their approach. They watch the clips, read the books, and try to measure up to careers that feel unreachable. These players didn't just win, they created the blueprint for what greatness looks like. Steph Curry shifted the entire league by changing how basketball's played. Legends have that kind of influence. One player, one skill set, completely rewriting the strategy of every team. That's not hype, that's reality. The league looks different because they existed, and even after they're gone, their impact doesn't fade. It grows. Oscar Robertson was the original stat sheet stuffer. Legends often lead in areas no one was tracking seriously until they came along. Once they start doing it, suddenly it becomes a standard. They redefine what's exceptional stat sheet stuff. Legends often lead in areas no one was tracking seriously until they came along. Once they start doing it,
man, it just look weird, don't it?
Suddenly, it becomes a standard.
Especially the rim. The rim looks insane.
What's expected. Triple doubles used to be rare, then he made them routine. That's the power of a legend. They expand the game. Kobe Bryant created iconic moments that'll be replayed forever. That's another part of this level. These players have signature moments burned into the memory of the sport. Game winners, playoff explosions, all-time performances that don't just live on highlight reels, they live in basketball culture. You remember where you were when it happened. Shaq dominated physically like few ever could. Legends are remembered not just for what they did, but how they did it. There's no one quite like them, and there never will be. They're the kind of players who make fans, teammates, and opponents all shake their heads. because it didn't seem fair. Their style becomes part of league history. Nikola Jokic already has a place in this group. His vision, passing, and scoring from the center position changed what's possible at his size. Legends are players you can't compare directly to anyone else. They become their own category. When you talk about others, you compare them to the legend, not the other way around. Kevin Durant created one of the most feared scoring arsenals ever. Legends score, but they also haunt. Defenders know what's coming and still can't stop it. These players command respect from everyone. Fans, peers, analysts, even critics. Their name carries weight in every conversation, every comparison, every list. Giannis is still adding to his resume, but he's already solidified his place here. Multiple MVPs, a championship, global appeal. He checks every box. Legends extend beyond the court. They become cultural icons, brand ambassadors, role models, and storytellers. They're featured in documentaries, biographies, and league anniversaries. They stay relevant long after the last game. That's what Level 6 is. It's not just about how great they were, it's about how deeply they changed the game, how widely they're remembered, how permanently they've shaped the league. Legends don't fade, they echo, but you know what's last. Level 7. GOAT.
The future is won by those who fight for it. Marine.
So we got to the GOAT. I didn't see Curry yet, so
Just in the conversation. He is the conversation. He set a bar that doesn't even seem reachable. From a perfect 6 for 6 in the finals to 10 scoring titles and 5 league MVPs. His career was the definition of dominance. He didn't just win, he redefined what greatness meant in sports. His impact went beyond the hardwood into sneakers, culture, marketing, and global awareness. You don't say basketball legend without thinking of him first. LeBron James, on the other hand, has built a career so long, so productive, and so consistent, it looks like a cheat code. 21 All-NBA selections, over 40,000 points, and still going. He's led the league in scoring, assists, playoff wins, you name it. Unlike Jordan's intense perfection, LeBron's case is built on complete versatility and longevity. He's a walking triple-double threat and ranks top 100 in every meaningful category across the board. These two didn't just dominate their eras, they defined them. They were the faces of the NBA and became household names in places that didn't even have basketball courts. GOATs don't just appear on TV, they show up in textbooks, documentaries, and museum exhibits. When Jordan took flight or when LeBron...
That nigga Michael Jordan shot that free throw and it was still cash, man.
Chased down a block, it didn't feel like a play. It felt like a moment history would remember. Jordan's influence was immediate and lasting. He brought global attention to the league during a time when it was still trying to find its footing internationally. Every player that came after him measured themselves against him. His career wasn't just successful, it was mythical. The Last Dance, the Dream Team, the Flu Game. It's all part of a larger story that makes him feel like a sports deity. LeBron took that mythology and added 20 plus years of real-time dominance. He didn't just match expectations, he created new ones. High school phenom, chosen one, and somehow he exceeded all of it. He's played in 10 finals, won 4, been the centerpiece of every team he's been on, and reinvented himself with each era. His resume reads like a video game character, with every skill maxed out. GOAT-level players do more than win. They elevate the game. They turn teammates into champions, franchises into dynasties, and moments into legacies. Jordan made players want to be killers. LeBron made players want to be complete. One was about ruthlessness and instinct. The other, precision and control. They're two sides of the same unreachable coin. They also carry the weight of every comparison. When a new star emerges, the question is always the same. Is he the next Jordan? Or can he catch LeBron? That's what being a GOAT means. You're the final answer. When barbershops argue, when analysts debate, when documentaries air, it always circles back to them. Jordan's clutch moments are burned into memory. The shot over Elo, the shrug, the double nickel at the Garden. They've been replayed so often, you don't even need commentary. LeBron's chase down block in the finals, already an immortal play. His game winners, his finals performances, his ability to make the right play every single time. It's a masterclass in basketball IQ. Jordan made the NBA cool. LeBron made it universal. One wore gold chains and black and red kicks. The other made school programs, invested in media, and still gave you 30, 10, and 9 on a Tuesday night. Their off-court impact is as large as their on-court success, from endorsements to philanthropy.